Welcome back to Live Impact News here on WCNC Plus. I'm Julie Kay in for the night. We'll be here over the next couple hours bringing you the biggest stories of your Tuesday evening, though we want to start with the biggest story, which is, of course, NBA Draft Night. Now, we've got Nick Carboni and Danielle Stein live at the Spectrum Center for us. So, guys, I know things are about to get started. How are things going so far?
Well, it tips off at 8 o'clock, and a couple of years ago, the NBA draft went from rounds 1 and 2 on the same night to round 1 on night 1, and then tomorrow will be round 2. So we really get to focus on these 30 picks tonight, of which the Hornets, Danielle, own 2 of them. And listen, it's not the same old Hornets. They had to wait till the back end of the lottery, which is good because that means they had a winning record. So 14 and 18 it is tonight.
We'll see at this point, of course, if that's where they end up. That is, if they stay the same, they could always move up. They could move back. They could package the deal up to try to get a different player in the league, too. There's still so much can happen between now and when they're on the clock at 14.
And I do want to point this out. Around pick 12, we are going to be back here. So make sure to stay with us, rejoin us, because we are going to take you through that pick number 14 and then possibly through 18 if in fact that is what the Hornets do. Now, I've made no bones about it. I'm impatient. I think this franchise has been kind of hitting nice singles the last couple of years. I don't think they're ready for the big home run swing like the Giannis trade, but I think it's time to get that extra base hit and, either package these 2 picks to move up tonight to get the guy you really want, and I'll talk about who that is in a second, or go get a veteran player who can help you. And really, Danielle, it's front court, front court, front court.
Yeah.
This team needs size. This team needs physicality, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, Jeff Peterson was saying in exit interviews that he expects all of the current Hornets players to be upping that intensity, that physicality, that aggressiveness is the word he actually said too. So it's not just the bigs. He wants everyone across the board to be doing that, but of course adding more size is something where your starting center right now, Moussa Diabate, yes, he's very impactful. He won the Hustle Award this year. He's an undersized big, so adding more size around him as well too, I think will be a big piece for them to look forward to tonight.
I think there's not that one player, especially at 14 or 18, that's going to change the face of your franchise. There's not that, immediate all-NBA center or power forward. But I think there are going to be quite a few players that fit some need or another of the Hornets.
Yeah.
Nobody's that complete player, so maybe a big at 14 and another big type guy at 18 is in the cards.
Yeah.
I've seen some mock drafts out there. Morez Johnson out of Michigan, 6'9", can guard every position at 14, and then Hans Steinbach from Washington. Morez Johnson from Michigan, Hans Steinbach from Washington. 6'10", big guy, can pass, can shoot a little bit too, and that's something the Hornets don't have in that kind of center 4 or 5 room right now.
Right, but they also talked about that forward position as well. When you look at guys like Miles Bridges and Grant Williams, they are big and physical guys, but adding more pieces around them who can also generate offense. Someone like Yaxel Lendenberg, a teammate of Morris Johnson's from Michigan, he's a forward. He was the Big Ten all-defensive team this past year. He was Big Ten Player of the Year as well, which is no easy feat by any means. He's 6'7", so he does bring some good height as well to the position. And defense is a crucial part of the needs for this team. They want more of that. They like to really go from the defensive side of the ball, and that's how they generate their offense. So having a player who can do that, like a Yaxel, would be a very good pickup for them as well too.
I think the consensus is if they pick 14th, it's going to be a big.
Yeah.
At 18 is where it kind of varies. Is it going to be a bigger body or is it going to be a guard?
Right.
And that goes into what's going to happen with their current backup point guard, Kobe White.
Yeah.
Traded for him in the middle of the season. Boy, did he help them get to where they got, 1 win away from the playoffs. Danielle, I thought he was coming back. That was the idea, but we don't know right now.
We all did. Kobe said it himself. He wanted to be here because he's a North Carolina guy. Jeff Peterson said, we're going to pretty much wrap this up as soon as we can. And then all of a sudden, we're hearing of all these different teams across the league who are showing interest, and it makes total sense. He is a guy who's been a starter for most of his career, who is coming off of the bench, and seeing what he did against the Miami Heat in that play-in game too, being super impactful. Yeah, teams all want him on their team, and if they can say, hey, you can start on our team rather than coming off the bench, give him more money too. Maybe he won't get, as I talked with Jeremy Grandison, the hometown discount, so to speak. So it kind of came as a surprise because it felt like it was a done deal almost.
Yeah, there are some, there are no guarantees, none of these guys, especially when you get in the back end of the top 20. But there's some downhill guards, some guys you might feel comfortable with running the offense when LaMelo is off the floor,
right,
which was a huge problem that Kobe White solved. So I think outside of the draft, that is what is also looming inside this building, is how is that situation going to resolve itself? And if they think there's a chance it won't, do they pick a guard tonight at 18? So draft starts at 8 o'clock. We're going to be back around pick 12 with some really special guests. Jeremy Grandison, our good pal who you talked to yesterday,
yep,
who's really good on the Hornets,
yeah,
been covering them for years, even in some really dark days. Owen Watterson from Sports Illustrated, Hunter Bailey, who's covered the team for a while as well. So everybody's going to kind of try to figure out what they're going to do and then react to what they're going to do real time with you here on the WCNC Charlotte app. Danielle, one thing I do want to talk about is, trading for somebody from the outside.
Right.
Giannis,
off the table.
That dream is over.
Yep.
And he goes to the Heat, which is a tough one for the Hornets in the division. Team they keep bumping up against, finally got over the hump last year. The Jaylen Brown situation in your native Boston,
yeah,
is getting really sticky. I wonder if he is definitely being, there are phone calls going to Boston right now about Jaylen.
It's hard to come back to Boston after you hear that your name was packaged to get a player like Giannis. I don't imagine at this point there's any way of kind of rehabbing that relationship there. So I imagine, as we've heard, a lot of teams are trying to shop for him. I talked about this with Jeremy too a little bit, and he said if you want a big fish, you have to obviously give up players of your own. We talked about how Brandon Miller sounds like he could be a player that might not be able to exist on the same team as a Jaylen Brown. They play the same position. They play a little bit different style, of course. Jaylen is an unbelievable defender as well, too. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple hours we do hear of a team making a move. It could be a team out in LA. I was hearing a little bit of talk about maybe the Clippers trying to push for Jaylen Brown as well, but whoever lands him, if it's the Celtics, they are getting an MVP caliber player, of course.
And listen, the Hornets now are in these types of conversations, even on the fringes of them, because they've shown to be an ascending, talented team, and they have built just a treasure trove of assets. We talked about it on TV at 4, 5, and 6. They've got 2 first-round picks tonight. Those are 2 of their 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. Something like 14 second-round picks, which are really, good trade chips and good extra capital to throw in to deals. They have young, talented players like Brandon Miller, who, listen, it would sting.
Yeah.
But to get a guy like Jaylen Brown, you'd have to part with. So not saying that's what's going to happen, but the fact that we're having these conversations is showing us how the Hornets have kind of started to rise a little bit here.
Yeah, I think they're seeing, look, we're on the cusp, and we could get to that point. And while Jeff said, we're really process-oriented rather than the result of swinging big, like we said, maybe it's time to start swinging a little bit. You're showing that it's been working and you're chipping away, getting closer and closer to that goal. But if you want to get there, you need to have some sort of change.
All right, one more time. At pick 12, unless the Hornets move up, and then we're coming on right away. At pick 12, we will be back. We'll be discussing what the Hornets are going to do at 14 and who's available, and we will go all the way through their second pick. Again, unless they trade that tonight, but we'll be reacting to it
night, right?
all live with you at home on the WCNC Charlotte app. Julie K., I know you've got some other news to get to, so we'll send it back to you for now.
Oh, thank you both. Exciting night for the Hornets after an exciting season. We'll check back in with you soon. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but know that we're going to come back to them, of course. We've also got some national news to get to. President Donald Trump spoke today just a little bit ago in Pennsylvania. And then locally here, we spoke with Sheriff McFadden just earlier this morning. So stick with us. Lots to get to. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.